Welcome back to the program. In case you're just joining us, you are watching Business Tuesday, and my name is Eddy Nyadwa. Earlier on, in the program, we are hosting the president of the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Mr. Richard Ngatia, and we're here just exploring issues to do with enabling business and investment. Now, Mr. Ngatia, I want us to talk about the investment opportunities in the Nyanza region, especially those that are not quite fully exploited so far, from Chamber's perspective, because you have offices in all the counties. What reports are you getting from the counties in Nyanza region?
One, let's say that it's very important to embrace the special economic zones, and within those special economic zones, then you'll find the community in Nyanza will benefit immensely. That means that startups can go to those economic zones. They can be accommodated. They can be incubated. They are prepared before they become SMEs. Again, we want to look at the industrial parks. Again, within the industrial parks, we want to encourage the Jua Kali sector to move from the roadsides, to move from areas that they don't have infrastructure, and go to the industrial park. Within that area, it becomes easy for any investor coming in to join you, any buyer coming in looking for goods, and also any person or development partner, or even the government, or even the private sector here that want to support you will be able to support you as a group. It is always important for people to have cooperatives, because then you speak in one voice, and once you do that, then you'll find organizations wanting to deal with you more and more. Now, looking at the opportunities there, if I look at, for example, the blue economy, this is an area that is untapped. For example, we as the chamber have partnered with various countries, namely UAE, there's Oman, there's Qatar, there's Madagascar, there's Tunisia, and many other countries that are looking at the blue economy, including the Caribbean islands, who would want to come and support us in that area. We are looking at maritime, for example. We are looking at logistics. We are looking at having vessels that people can own vessels and also be able to transport fish. We want to explore what is in Lake Victoria, because for me, really, I know there is tilapia, for example, but what other minerals can we get in that lake? And we want to come and bring the expertise to come and explore what they can get there, so that then it can be meaningful to the community in Nyanza. Looking at agribusiness, agriculture as well, we want to see that products are moving from there. Now we have the SGR, which has gone all the way to Naivasha.
It's going to Naivasha, then it's
going to continue.
Continuing out the way.
All the way, it's going to go to Rwanda.
Yeah, Kisumu,
all the way to Uganda. Rwanda. So there's opportunity again, getting your products from Nyanza and to the various counties in this country. That's how you look for markets, because many a times you find we complain about our market, but we don't look at our own market that we have. There's a lot of capacity here that we can buy goods from Kenya and not necessarily importing. For example, if you look at milk that was coming from Uganda, there was a complaint that the milk is cheaper than our milk. But really, what we need to look at is, how do we engage the government? How does the government then be able to subsidize this? For example, if it is feeds, for example, if it is veterinary, how can they be able to subsidize so that then you can be able to have the cost of milk then competing and going low and competing with other people in the country? And if that milk is still more expensive, or the eggs, then you have to look at what else do you have that is more competitive. But in my view, is to partner. For example, if you look at Kisumu and Uganda, if you partner as one, then you can be able to consolidate goods together and look at for a bigger market. You look at market in Nigeria, for example, where you can sell your product. You look at a market in any other parts of the world where you can jointly be able to do business together, not competing each other. So there are a lot of opportunities in Nyanza that we really want to look at. The other day I happened to go to Trans Nzoia. It is the same thing, because under our programs and empowering and also sensitizing our members, then we're able to see the kind of areas that have potential, and we're able then to advise them accordingly. So in Nyanza, blue economy, one of the best areas that anyone can be able to invest in today. You look at, again, in terms of the produce that they have. Business, yeah. Yes. And then let us look at, again, while we look at the ports or the blue economy again, how do we create employment in that area? Again, we have our people from the Jua Kali, we have engineers from the Jua Kali, technicians from the Jua Kali. We don't have to get engineers coming from Tanzania, for example, to come and either repair the boats or repair. We can do it ourselves here. We just need to capacity build them, we train them, enhance their skills, and they will do it, and that's how you create employment.
So it's an incident that it is a sector that can open up once the port becomes operational.
Exactly. I also want to speak just a little bit about how we can also create and sustain our markets within Kenya. And I want to talk about, for example, tea, coffee, whether it is macadamia, whether it is rice. There's farmers complaining they don't have markets. Now, to me, and I am appealing to the government to make sure that government institutions, for example, the police force, the army, schools, technical schools, all schools, the hospitals, the health sector, all of them are buying rice from these farmers. That way they shall be able to make sure that there's market for these people. Any rice or any commodity that is coming in from, say, Pakistan, let's leave it to the private sector. Let's leave it to the private people. Let it go to the supermarkets. But let us make sure that there's a market for our farmers, and a market that they'll be able to say that, yes, I can now go back and farm because I know there's a market. And then prices are consolidated. Are standardized. And that way, and I say again, if they come in as cooperatives, they'll be able to engage the government. They'll be able to negotiate their way. And that way, then, we can be able to sustain their business.
But the challenge has been that we're a society that has very high affinity to imported products. We even import non-essential goods, and this creates a big imbalance in terms of trade, because our imports are so high, the volumes are very high compared to what we're exporting. And so the campaign for Buy Kenya, Build Kenya.
And I say, probably that is a perception. But I would say again, let us come back and sit with our manufacturers. Let us empower the manufacturing plants. Let us see how we can also revive. The other day I saw Rivertex has been revived. For very long it was dead. And other factories that have been revived in automobile as well, in many other sectors. So let us also concentrate in making sure we enhance the capacity of our manufacturers and make sure that locals are also buying local products here in Kenya. And then let us also look at how tariffs can be also subsidized for them. And that way then you work on volumes. And that is the way we can only be able to sustain our market.
Okay. Now, earlier on you mentioned that you are working, or rather you have offices in all the 57 counties. You're engaging, there are some banks that you're running programs with. You also engage the Council of Governors. Perhaps, are there any other collaborations that you've made with other institutions?
Quite a number. We have worked very closely. Let me start with Business Advocacy Fund, that is BAF. And what we have done is to make sure, first of all, we capacity build our National Governing Council, who happens now to be the chairs, the CEOs, the board, so that they can be able to understand corporate governance, understand ethics, understand integrity, and skills management, enhancement of business planning as well. So that has been ongoing. And right now we have already done. Actually, yesterday was when we closed. Certain, because we are clustering them into groups, into regions, and we are anticipating that in the next 3 months we'll have finished all the 10 regions, all the 47 counties will have been capacity built. Over and above that, we have SIPE. SIPE again, they have come to support us. With, of course, tools of working as well, and many other programs that we are carrying on with SIPE, again on trainings. We do have AGRA. We have partnered with them. We again looking within every county to see what are the challenges they're facing, how they can be able to be supported, their capacity build as well, and what it is that then they can be able to do in terms of making sure in agribusiness they're able to conduct very well. So in Agra, again, we have partnered with them. We have people like the World Bank Group. They have come to support us. We have partnered with them in making sure that there's dialogue between the private sector and the public sector within the counties. So we are we able to reach out to the counties, the Council of Governors. We're able to discuss with them. We're able to have dialogue with them so that they can also accommodate the private sector within their institution, so that by the time they're formulating policies, then they can get first-hand information from the people who are on the ground and who is the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry. So again, with the World Bank Group, that is ongoing very well. Remember that we have signed an MOU with the Council of Governors. It expired the other day, but we are renewing so that we can continue with the engagement with all the counties, the 47 counties.
Okay. Now, as you draw to a close of the end of the interview, Mr. Ngatia, you are a man who has traveled quite vastly across the globe. And during these trips, you've also been a member of the high-power delegation accompanying the president to a number of countries. For instance, in January, you were among the powerful delegation that visited the UK during the UK Business Forum in London.
Yes.
In February, again, you are in the US at the event hosted by the Atlantic Council in Washington. And in these forums, you interact with the foreign investors. When you speak to them, Mr. Ngatia, what do they have to say about the Kenyan market in terms of conduciveness of doing business with us?
Yes, it is true that I've been visiting these countries, and of course, under the leadership of His Excellency the President, Richard Ngatia. So we, as the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and as the chamber, we really have to be there because we're the private sector, so that as the government, the two governments negotiate, then we are there to take the opportunities, and once they do the bilateral engagements, then we are there to make sure that we follow up on those opportunities that have been availed. Yes, I know we have been to TICAD, that is Japan. We have been to Russia, Sochi, which was very, the opportunities there are many opportunities, and we signed many MOUs with different organizations. From there, we've been to we've been to France as well. Again, opportunities in agriculture, in automobile, quite many. We've been to London just the other day, you mentioned. Now, the foreign investors really want to come and invest in Africa. Let's begin there. They want to invest in Africa. They want to come and tap the opportunities that are here in Africa. They're seeking for partnerships, not only to come and dump their products, but to come and partner and do business in Africa. Now, they look at Kenya as the hub of East and Central Africa. And I want to tell you that, and how Kenya is perceived. It is the hub of East and Central Africa and the largest Central Africa. And you know very well that Kenya serves the landlocked countries within the Comesa region. And therefore, if you look at our infrastructure, great. If you look at our language, we have no language barrier at all. it becomes very easy for them to engage Kenyans in terms of penetrating other markets. And therefore, because this is a growing concern in terms of business, the infrastructure, the government has done very well from the 2030 vision, where they have narrowed to the agenda, 4 agendas, which is food security, universal health coverage, affordable housing, and industrialization, which is manufacturing. These areas, of course, investors are looking at, because those are available opportunities. They are ready opportunities. And therefore, we go there to make sure that we are selling Kenya, we are telling our story in a most humanly way, so that they buy in. And once they do that, they come and we match them with the people they are looking for here. And there are many areas. In food security, we have livestock. We have Oman, we have UAE, Middle East. They are looking for beef. They are looking for goats. They come and buy. They used to buy in... mostly, I think they used to buy in Somali, in Mogadishu, in those areas. Today they have come to Kenya because we have put our acts correct, meaning that we are able now to quarantine goats in a free disease area. They are able to be there for about 6 months, and after that, then you can be able to sell in bulk to them at a very good and affordable price. And of course, the farmers are able now to make a good profit. And there are many other areas as well. Now, when you look at housing, they want to come and support the SMEs, because SMEs have been given a chance to come and place windows, to come and place doors, but there are other components that you must import. They come and partner with those people, and also in terms of making sure that they can take the opportunity of building. The government is also giving a lot of incentives within the special economic zones, and also EPZs as well. So they are giving 5 to 10 years tax holidays, and therefore they want to take advantage of that, and many other incentives that the government is giving. And therefore, once they hear of the opportunities and incentives that are being given, then they are able to come and join us. Over and above the 4 areas that I've mentioned, the government has put in place, and their vision of 2020. There is also tourism. Again, we are also marketing our country very much to come and see what it is that they can be able to do here, and how they can be able to support us in terms of tourism. Look at, for example, Morocco. Morocco, they register about 10 million visitors every year. We register about 1.9. What is the reason? So ours is to partner with them. Madagascar, they are doing even more. So ours is really to partner with them, so that whenever a tourist is making a visit to Morocco, they can do a one circuit. They come to Kenya and out they go. And then we can be able also to sell to them, and also work very closely with the agents out there. And we have signed with them, by the way. So that is an opportunity that is there. We look at also the blue economy. Let us look at the orange economy as well. Within the orange economy, we are looking at fashion. That is an area that is untapped in Kenya. We want all these brands to come to Kenya and partner with people, give them the opportunity to display their products here in Kenya. We want Louis Vuitton, we want Gucci, we want all these brands to come and also make sure, because that is an area that people can reap good profits from.
Especially the young people.
The young people who are very innovative. Let us look at the digital economy. Again, we want to look at technology, we want to look at fintech. Our young people, again, very energetic, very sharp. We want to see how they can also be able to develop their mind, and also to develop their products in terms of innovation. So there are all these groups that are coming here to make sure they partner with them. And I'm happy that now the ICT, the Ministry of ICT has taken that mandate to make sure they support the youth, because that is an area that was not looked at, was ignored. But I believe now the youth, they have hope in terms of making sure we unlock their potential, we make sure we create jobs for them, then it is there. And the other areas I talked about, green economy as well. Let us look at agriculture, on how we are going to make sure that our produce is marketed out there as Kenyan brand, and that is the way we're going to go. I want to speak just a little bit about the Great Lakes region. Now, I happen to be elected as the chairman of the Great Lakes region private sector forum that holds 12 countries, which is DRC, there is DRC the Republic, there is Sudan, there is Congo, there is Zambia, Tanzania, Uganda, now there is Kenya, Ethiopia, Rwanda. So I happen to be the chairman and to lead the private sector in those countries. And last night I just came from DRC, where I'm trying to sensitize the public sector and also have discussions with the various bodies within those countries to also join us in an international conference that we are having in Kigali, in Rwanda, in March 18th and 20th. Here we have invited all the heads of states. We are working hand in hand with the United Nations Special Envoy to come, and so that the heads of state, can be able now to agree and unlock the borders. We want to work freely as the Great Lakes region. It's a population of 400 million, and therefore you can imagine the market you are asking from Nyanza. That is a market which is available already for them to take in this area. And therefore, once they unlock those areas, and some of the things that have been really asking the governments to do is to make sure the borders, we don't have a border, a checking point from Kenya, another checking point from Uganda, and it's at the same point. We just have one point, and that's it. Number two is the way bridge. There are so many. If you find transporters, they are complaining so much, it becomes very expensive for them. It delays them so much. So those are areas we want to do. We want to take goods from Kenya to DRC, but they find it very, very, very expensive. So, and therefore, I learned that they are taking their products from France, whereas they can get their products from Kenya or Uganda or wherever. So we want to take that opportunity. And me as a chairman, I want to make sure that there is cohesion, we unify these countries through trade. There's no conflict, because these are areas where it's prone of conflict because of people fighting over illegal business. So we want to make sure that now people can be able to work freely, they can be able to get good profits, and that way there will be no conflicts within this region. So this, 3 weeks ago, I met Yoweri Museveni, who actually donated and pledged 10 million shillings towards that conference. Rwanda, Kagame has pledged giving the conference, the international conference. UN has pledged $200,000 US. We have now DRC. Actually, they have also, I was in Kinshasa, they have pledged $200,000 US. That's 20 million Kenyan shillings. I'm yet to see our head of state, but the private sector here in Kenya have also pledged to support, so that they go there and be able to sell their products. So we have invited the entire world.
There's commitment to us.
There's a lot of commitment and excitement that people want now to come and engage Africa within that conference.
Okay. Now, lastly, next week we'll be hosting the SME Conference and Expo at the KICC. What should the SMEs be expecting?
Now, as one of my manifesto agendas or pledges was to work very closely with the members of the Fourth Estate. And I said I'm going to work with them closely as we sensitize the private sector, Kenyans, and the world on the opportunities available in Kenya. So we have partnered with a Nation Media group, so that we have expos not only in KICC but across the counties, and many other media stations on different areas. But I'll speak about the expo that is on the 24th and 25th. Yes, we have invited the SMEs. It is one of a kind. What we want them to do is to come and showcase their products. It's an opportunity we are giving them to come and showcase their products. And of course, we have invited also other players. We have invited corporates as well. We have invited the government. In fact, CSs, led by CS Matiang'i. Yeah, he's going to lead other CSs. We have the CS Betty Maina, we have the CS Peter Munya. You can see those sectors, and we have PSAs as well, PS Hinga, and we have other dignitaries also coming to speak to the SMEs on how they can be able to engage in doing business, where they can be able to get opportunities. They can also tell us where the challenges are, so that we can have that first-hand information. The government will take the information, the government will be able to commit themselves on how they can be able to support. We as a private sector will be able to commit them and learn what exactly we must do for them so that we make business easy. We know we were ranked 56 from 61 in ease of doing business, but that is not enough, because we want it to be felt at the mashinani. We want it to be felt by Mama Mboga down there. We want somebody from Nyanza to say, yes, there is ease of doing business. And this is the reason that we are inviting the SMEs to come to KICC on 24th. Come listen to us. We want to listen to you. Let us have a dialogue together. Let us see your product, and let us share with you where the opportunities are and where you can tap the market.
Okay. And thank you so much, Mr. Richard Ngatia.
Asante sana.
Now, that marks the end of this interview. Thanks for watching. My name is Eddy Nyadwa.